So how about that Milo's situation? What do you think about that? What are your thoughts? Some of you have been asking. Well, I'm going to give you my thoughts, but first, here's what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to play back all the videos and pass every word and speculate about which part Milo was serious about or which part was just him being his usual outrageous self. Plenty of people have done that already, and you can go watch those to your heart's content. So I'm going to approach this a little differently. Do I think Milo condones or defends paedophilia? No, I don't think so. But the problem is he's made contradictory remarks. And again, I'm not going to go through them all, but in his effort to deal with his own abuse, using, as he says, gallows humour, it appears in the Joe Rogan video as though Milo's convinced himself that he's not the victim, that, in his words, he was the aggressor. And in the other video, he talks about coming-of-age relationships in which older men help younger boys discover who they are. And of course, Milo subsequently explains that it's normal in the homosexual world to refer to younger men as boys, and not being part of that community, not that there's anything wrong with that, I can't confirm that is true. But let's say it is. Milo spoke carelessly, and he admitted as much. And this is one of the problems of being a high-profile media personality and someone that consistently says provocative things. You're constantly giving your detractors ammunition to go after you. And saying you were just joking or trolling is not always going to be enough, especially for those looking for any opportunity to take you down. As PewDiePie recently said, there are consequences.
And I don't want people to think that, oh, I can joke about whatever I want. It doesn't have to affect me. I'm PewDiePie. I understand that these things have consequences.
And I want to make an important distinction here. Recognizing that there are consequences to your actions is not the same as saying that Milo deserved what has subsequently happened to him. To lose his job, to have his book deal cancelled, disinvited to CPAC, and now we hear he's lost a possible TV deal with Fox. I don't believe he deserves that, but deserving's got nothing to do with it. That's the world we live in, a world in which it's not enough for your opponents to criticize and ridicule. They want to destroy you, completely discredit you so that no one will ever take you seriously again. Was it a coordinated attack? Some, like Mike Cernovich, seem to think so. Milo alluded to this in his press conference.
It's very obvious that this was a highly coordinated and very well-planned and well-funded attack on me, but I have to take responsibility for what I said. Nonetheless, everyone at home can see what's happening. You know, my life is one long fielding of negative feedback, but certainly nothing serious about those, no. And that's how you know that this is a politically motivated witch hunt. And the other way you know is that people knew about this stuff a year ago and didn't print anything. They waited until the most damaging possible moment, and everybody knows that. And I think America will judge accordingly.
Honestly, I have no idea. But it's not like it hasn't happened before. Coordinated hatchet jobs are nothing new. Has there been a double standard applied to Milo? Well, of course. Do you really think his haters would treat him objectively? They're salivating at the prospect of destroying him. Think of Hollywood's soft treatment of Roman Polanski, a man that drugged and raped a 13-year-old girl. And then there's Lena Dunham, who's admitted to molesting her own sister. And of course, these aren't even fair comparisons. Milo has never committed such acts. But even George Takei, who had a similar experience to Milo, that he described as wonderful and scary, intimidating and delightful, hasn't been held to the same standards. And sure, George Takei didn't have as much writing on his comments when he made them on Howard Stern back in 2006, but George Takei also has the right kind of politics, and that makes it easier to excuse in the eyes of a biased media. Now, a couple of people have asked me to comment on this situation over the last few days, and I'm glad I didn't until I saw Milo's press conference. I thought for the most part he acquitted himself well, as he usually does, but I didn't like his adoption of the victim narrative. Of course, the truth is Milo is a real victim of child abuse, but that's not the victim narrative I'm referring to. It's the media is out to destroy me narrative, which, while certainly true of some media outlets, as I've said before, but it has a tinge of hypocrisy since he consistently lectures others about not playing the victim card. I thought Brendan O'Neill had a good read on this in a Facebook post. What Milo said was ugly. The use of what he said to destroy his career is ugly. Milo has overnight become the thing he said he most despised, someone who plays the victim card to try and guard himself against ridicule, and his critics have overnight become practitioners of the thing they claim to hate most in the alt-right, the blowing up of an individual's offhand or thoughtless or offensive comment to the end of ensuring that that individual is never again taken seriously. It all rather exposes the fluidity between the new radical right and the PC, who for all their screeching at each other are actually pretty similar. Both are given to advertising their wounds, both hound with relish those who disagree with them, both think little of destroying people's careers on the basis of what they think and say. Those of us who are neither new right nor PC but rather believe that freedom of speech is the most important value and that witch hunts are always a cruel and damaging enterprise should defend Milo's right to speak and be published. No one should be condemned and ousted from public life on the basis of what they believe. So I could end it there, but I think it's worth countering some of the negativity I've seen on Milo's side. So what does Milo's future look like? Well, I don't know how it's going to play out for Milo, but some of his fans are treating it like a death in the family. But whilst it looks bleak for Milo right now, I think it's worth remembering Milo has built a huge fan base over the last few years, not only online, but through TV appearances and his college campus tour. And they seem to be pretty loyal. And it looks like he'll get his book published this year, and I don't think this incident is going to put people off buying it. In fact, it could actually help him, especially if, as he alluded to in his press conference, he adds another chapter about current events. So I doubt we've heard the last of him, and when he bounces back, in whatever form that takes, I'm sure there'll be plenty of us paying attention. So let me know in the comments what you think of Milo's situation. I'm sure plenty of you will disagree with some of the points I've raised. Not that there's anything wrong with that. See you next time.